Do you want to access, analyze and visualize statistical data and metadata in a standardized and harmonized way? If so, you need to watch this video and discover SDMX Insight, a software for business intelligence that unlocks the power of SDMX. Let's take a look at the dashboard we have created for this demo. It shows some economic data for Spain, by provinces, that have been obtained from the Eurostat SDMX API. As you can see, the dashboard shows 4 charts. On the top row, left part, we can see the context of Spain within Europe. In this case, for a better visualization, it is good to enter the full screen mode for the chart. We have several options for the chart, including the visualization of data as a table, or downloading the data. The right side of the top row shows the map of Spain divided in provinces. We can see a color-coded map that shows the economic performance of each province. We can see the province name and amounts by hovering on the chart. In the bottom row we can see 2 charts, one showing the relative share of each province in the national economy and the other showing the dynamic evolution of GDP across provinces over time. Now, let's move on to the left sidebar. Here we have a set of filters that we have configured for our charts. First, we have added a filter by GDP measure, that we have made mandatory. Why? Because for the charts we have, we should never combine more than one measure, because they are not aggregable. Users can choose any metric, but not more than one. And when it is chosen, 3 charts are updated. Note that the chart for the contribution does not change. This is because we have configured the filter not to apply for it, because that chart uses only one measure, million euro, because it is the only measure that makes sense to it. Similar thing happens with the year. It is mandatory, since for 3 of the charts we do not see the time. In this case, we have allowed to select more than one date, in which case the charts will show the average. But, of course, this filter does not apply to the trend, since, by definition, we want to see all the dates there. Finally, we have added a filter by province. Here we can select any of the Spanish provinces, and the relevant charts will get updated. We can see, for instance, Salamanca, the province where we are located. Do you want to compare the economic performance of different provinces? Let's do that. Let's compare the contribution of Salamanca to another province, for instance, Madrid. As said in the introduction, we can create a dashboard directly with a YAML specification file. A YAML file is a text file that contains a set of instructions and parameters to define the layout, style and content of a dashboard. It is a simple and flexible way to create dashboards without coding or designing. We have followed the YAML format provided by the Hackathon Terms of Reference and have implemented most of the features and formats there described. Let's load this YAML file, that is the one provided as an example for the hackathon. What is happening behind the scenes, is that SDMX is doing the queries to SDMX APIs included in the file, and is creating the datasets, charts and dashboards according to the specification. As you can see, we have successfully created a dashboard that matches the specification from the YAML file. But what if you don't have a YAML file or you want to create your own dashboard from scratch? Don't worry, SDMX Insight has you covered. SDMX Insight also offers the possibility to create SDMX dashboards interactively, with an intuitive user interface. Generation of dashboards need to follow 3 steps. First, the datasets from which we want to get the data need to be created. Then, it is possible to create one or many charts based on the datasets. And the dashboard is a collection of those charts plus other widgets and filters. So, let's start with creating datasets from SDMX sources. We can add a new SDMX dataset by clicking the Import SDMX Dataset button. SDMX Insight offers 2 ways to load an SDMX dataset. One is by directly typing an SDMX URL that returns an SDMX data message. We can look for URLs using the SDMX Hub. Let's take for instance a BIS dataset. We recommend to always use a parameter in the queries to ensure that we don't get too many data, in order not to overload the SDMX APIs. Once the data are retrieved, SDMX Insight creates a dataset that can be used to create charts. The second way to create datasets from SDMX is by using a simple explorer offered by SDMX Insight. SDMX Insight allows you to connect to various data sources that use the SDMX standard, such as the BIS, the ILO, the OECD, and more. These data sources provide a wealth of statistical data and metadata on different topics, such as economy, health, education, environment, and more. We can select a data flow and the last number of observations we want to retrieve. One advantage of using this method to create the datasets is that SDMX Insight takes also care of retrieving the related metadata, and the datasets are created with the names for the codes in all available locales. The second step is to create the charts based on the datasets. SDMX Insight offers a powerful and intuitive user interface to create charts. You can choose from a variety of chart types, such as tables, maps, bar charts, line charts, pie charts, and more. You can also customize your charts with various options and features, such as colors, labels, legends, titles, axes, filters, and more. You can create stunning and informative visualizations with SDMX Insight. How do we create a chart with SDMX Insight? It's very simple. We just need to follow these steps. We must first select the type of chart that we want to create. The simplest visualization is a table with the data. We can add the dimensions we want to see. For instance, let's see the sex, the age, and the observation value. Note that, when we create a metric, we need to provide an aggregate function. Let's take the average, since with the current setup of the chart we are getting several time periods and geographies. But let's now make this more interesting and add a map for visualization. In this case we need to provide the column with the country code and select the codification. Note that we may want to add filters, to avoid double counting or just because we are interested in detail. SDMX Insight comes with a lot of customization options, which vary with the type of chart. We encourage you to investigate and create nice visualizations. Once we are happy with our results, we can give a name to our chart, and save it. When saving it, SDMX Insight allows us to add the chart to a dashboard, which may be existing or new. Let's create a new dashboard. The final step is to create the dashboard as a collection of charts and other widgets and filters. We can now edit the new dashboard we have created. SDMX Insight also provides an intuitive way to edit the dashboards. We just need to drag and drop the charts we want to include, and any other widget, and we can also add the filters we are interested in. So, let's add an additional chart. Note that we can add any chart, from any dataset. They do not need to come from the same agency. So let us add a chart we had created before with data from Eurostat. We can now change the positions or the sizes of the charts. We can also add rows or columns to the dashboard, and other widgets like headers or explanatory text. Finally, we may want to add filters. Adding filters to a dashboard is quite simple, even if we have several options. Let's suppose that we want to add a filter for the year of the data. We just need to provide a name, select a column, and add any other options we may be interested in, like making it mandatory and with a default value. Congratulations, you have created a dashboard with SDMX Insight. Thank you for watching this video and discovering SDMX Insight, a software for business intelligence that unlocks the power of SDMX. We hope you have enjoyed this demo and learned how to access, analyze and visualize statistical data and metadata in a standardized and harmonized way.